Why don't we watch the sun come up?
Show her my sweet?
But now you can get your moisture fix whenever. I got your number.
Oh, Peridot, you're killing me. Barnmates, barnmates, barnmates. Remember how in my review of the last episode, I had hoped that Lapis would be fun or interesting because she'd have to interact with Peridot's eccentric and dorkish personality? I got my wish. This episode was so much fun and gave me so many chuckles. Ah, the humor, so many jokes, so many gags, it was great. Peridot did the vast majority of the legwork, and she continues to cement her place as my favorite character in this show, but Lapis had some amazing comedic moments too. The unamused faces in response to Peridot's oafish actions really served to give Lapis more personality than anything from the last episode. Now, I do have to get one caveat out there before continuing with the rest of the review. It would make a lot more sense for Lapis to simply fly farther away from the barn. If she doesn't want to live with Peridot, a person who she has no positive emotional ties to, and if Steven isn't even going to live at the barn either, what's the point of settling for a perch right outside the barn? It's silly to remain atop the water tank while constantly getting annoyed or bothered when you have the ability to fly literally anywhere. The whole time, I couldn't help but feel like Lapis continued to stay in the vicinity for plot purposes rather than because it made sense for her character to do so. That's pretty much my only gripe with the episode. Everything else about it was a complete delight. It was a standard sort of template in terms of plot, have one character continue to show that they care and want to be friends in various wacky ways, while the other character wants none of it until the end where they finally show a small sign of compassion. It's formulaic, which means to make it brilliant, the execution has to be top-notch. And as I already implied, the execution was fantastic. The dialogue, the pacing, the comedy, all wonderful. As far as the character interactions go, Lapis really just needed some space and time alone. She just started what could be considered a normal life for the first time in thousands of years, and probably needs to relax and unwind before she can start to set aside past grievances. But interactions, even in real life, rarely ever go optimally, and Steven, despite being immensely good-willed, is still naive when it comes to many things. He is basically trying to force a friendship to bloom, an act that can very well end up backfiring, and Peridot goes along with his advice because she doesn't know any better. So it all ends up in a very emotionally explosive situation where Peridot basically bears her heart out to Lapis, only to have her most real and visceral attempt at emotional outreach denied. Peridot shows amazing maturity by being able to swallow this denial and walk away without another word, a silent act that surely contributed to melting Lapis's icy exterior as much as the emotional words that came beforehand. This moment, by the way.
I don't want your garbage.
This has got to be the most brutal moment in Steven Universe thus far. I loved it. Towards the end of the episode, after smacking down the roaming eye, Lapis asks Peridot if she's okay. Peridot was obviously not physically harmed at any point. Instead, she was freaking out and quivering in fear. Lapis is asking if Peridot is alright emotionally, meaning Lapis is showing concern for Peridot's mental well-being. A gesture with obvious implications. Lapis is willing to try to be Peridot's friend. And Peridot's response is the most adorable smile ever! Oh, and I would have freaked out over the ruby at the end, except that I was already spoiled ages ago by images circulating all across the internet. Baseball. They're gonna fight Homeworld with an old-fashioned game of baseball. I just assumed that was a dream sequence from the spoiler images I saw, but apparently they're legit gonna fight Homeworld with baseball. Alrighty then.